feck. Kind of regretting not capturing this a little bit on video. Right in the arch here, there was always a little bubble in the steel here. When I started digging into it, I just started peeling back and back and back, and I found that behind this plate here, on this side, and there's a little perforation, and the rust has just built all the way back up around here. It seemed to have access through maybe the front here, and maybe a deposit of dirt got caught in there and then just started corroding from the inside. So we're in for a little unforeseen repair, which is probably no harm catching now and then after I have it all schultzed up and hidden. So I'm going to take off maybe more plates off here, and then we're going to just start filling this in. Okay, so I just hacked out this plate, roughly go over this area. So what I'm going to do now is try and press it in nice and tight and then etch it from the other side so we get the exact shape. There we go. We have the line cut out all the way around. We're just going to trim off this. It's already arced into that curve because I kind of pressed it in and give it a few taps of a hammer. So let's get this cut out. Okay, cut this one out nice and accurate to what I thought I had done. And there's a bit of a gap up there, so I need to kind of see if I can do something different there. But then I went down here and I went, feck. I get from the inside here, but my outside plate actually steps down a little bit, so I'm going to have to redo this one again. So, good start, eh? Okay, so I've redone this one again now. I've given myself a little bit more meat on the bottom, so I'll try and see if I can just form that in there by hand. So I took a little chip out of that corner there just to match up with the way I cut things up here. It just helped me fill in the holes a little bit better. So now we're going to get in some weld through primer. And I'll do the back end of this as well, and we'll start welding it up. So if I weld it from this side and get a good penetration, then I can just basically grind it flush in here, and we'll have a little look at the other side to see what it's like. Most of the inside will be covered by a flange anyway, so I'm not too worried about the finish of this. Unfortunately, my rotisserie is bolted on very close here, so I might have to do as much as I can do and then come back at this then when it's down on the 4-jack stands, and finish it off then. Plug this in. Touch feel all the way around, feels fairly okay. A couple of parts will need pressed in as we get there, but this is looking fairly tasty. This is from the back side of the part I just welded, and there's just one little filler plate. It's this part that you can see kind of hiding in behind here. It's just a continuation of that to make sure that that's joined into this face here. So I have this little filler plate ready to go in here. I'm just going to copy the same profile, and I'm just going to weld it in tight, and then we'll put on the big flange then over this to seal it off. So I'm making this outside flange over here. So I've essentially cut out the profile here, and then I'm just using one of these fantastic bits here to just core out this profile before I go trimming off the end. So I'll keep drilling a little bit further, and then I'm going to snip off the edge here. Okay, I put in that little filler plate there and get a good weld all the way around, kind of staying true to the original hole that's on it there, and then leaving it opened here because that's the way it actually was down here. This plate is welded coming through from behind. Sorry, this plate is welded coming through behind. This is just joined in here, and then this fella will be welded onto the front here. Now, we need to get our weld-through primer on the two surfaces here before they get joined together. And this can be welded all the way on the outside and then tacked in here just for extra strength so that the plate is actually fully joined together. So we'll start by putting on the weld-through primer. Weld-through primer, weld-through. Okay, our weld-through primer's on both sides, so we're ready to get this plate on here now once that all dries. Just to give you a rundown, guys, I'm pretty much there when it comes to getting the under seal done on this. Just got a little bit of advice from one of the local suppliers now, and he says just basically put this schultz directly onto the primer and keep the quantity of primer to a minimum. So I think we're getting close to applying it. The only area that I have a little bit of concern that needs a bit more work is this corner here. It's kind of got a bash right in that corner, so I'll just see if I can get that pushed back out before we go and put on any undersealer. But everywhere else is golden, good to go. Okay folks, it's been a little while since I was actually in the shed, so for it's just a couple of seconds. For me it's been almost a couple of weeks. I've been kind of getting no opportunity to get out to the car over the last while, even at the weekends, just a little bit too much going on. But I got out here today and I started doing a bit of catching up. I kind of spotted a few places where I missed the seam sealer. I had a dodgy little corner here which all needed to be pressed back out again. So kind of getting it to a certain point that I can actually get some treatment on the inside, and then I can come back to this after and just kind of give it a good finish off then. I've taken off the strip here so we can start making this nice and flush. I've managed to win some old bumpers on eBay, so they're in the post on the way out to me now. So what I want to do next now is tape off the car and get some underbody sealer on this and get it looking all nice. Then we can actually put the car down on jack stands and get it to the next level. I'm just trying to figure out if I need to paint the car while I'm still able to rotate it. It's possible I might do that, but it's just I'm getting eager to try and get this yoke into an assembly stage. So we'll start by putting the base coat or the underseal on this now. So this is the stuff I decided to go for. Recommended by my local motor factors. Never sprayed this before. I have no notion how this is going to turn out. Let's see how it goes. So I ran out, I got 2 of these and I did this much. So we missed the wheel arch up here, and we got pretty much everywhere else except for a few little spots up here and the inside. So we're going to get probably another 3 bottles tomorrow morning, and I'll finish off in here in the arch and come back over the rest of it then with one more coat. But it looks really good. It looks span new. There's obviously a few spots you kind of need to watch out for, like up in here. You need to jet blast them, so that's why I'm getting 3 as opposed to 2, to make sure we can get into all of those little hollows. But yeah, you wouldn't really know that the car had work done on it now that she's sealed up. The rails look really top notch. I'm going to go back into the inside of these now and wax them from the inside before we go plugging up everything. But yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that. Okay all, it's another day. I've got 3 more of these little bad boys good to go. And what we want to do now is get this on. So this previous coat has dried in. It's actually class. You can actually feel that it's a small little bit rubbery, so you can imagine if this gets impacted by a stone, it's just going to be rebound back to where it is. First coat is on most places. I need to get into this arch. And what I've done actually since is I've kind of masked off a lot of this area, because when you're spraying this shit, it's everywhere. I spent about half an hour trying to scrub it off my arms here last night, and I didn't have much success. So yeah, just cover up when you're doing this, lads. But I would really highly recommend this stuff. It's undercoating black anti-corrosion by Bardol. It really is class, and the fact that it's anti-corrosion means that it's just going to keep on working on that material and keeping it safe, on top of the zinc coat that's on this. So this car is not rusting for a while. Right, let's carry on with our spraying. So I used another tree on the car, including the bit on the wing there. But as I went along, I kind of started noticing kind of tiny little spots like this that I just need to go hunting out. So I got another tin, and I'm just going to go attack all those tiny corners. There will be need down on the line to do a little bit more underseal when I take off this, but I need to get the car off the rotisserie and onto stands before I can get to that stage. So I got another tin, and I'm just going to go around hunting all these single spots. No point recording that, but it's just kind of get this to a finished state. It's looking really well. I think it's top notch. This stuff is class. It's so enjoyable to put on, actually. It just literally throws and just sticks to whatever you kind of point it at. Kind of yesterday I lost a bit of control myself here. It's oversprayed and kind of caught a few areas in the engine bay. For me to kind of get that lovely finish in there, I'm going to have to take that all off, so hopefully it'll sand off and I can get to reprime in there. And I went up the front because that area gets exposed to stones too. So after all the overspray, I did a lot of work for myself. I had to clean that all off again. So we got to clean out the engine bay pretty well, and then we went to town inside here. I think we're going to get ready now and prime this area and get it ready for a nice coat of black paint. Alright, that is the interior with its first coat of primer. Real well, it's looking nice. The engine bay looks very good. Should clean up nicely now. There you go. Speaking with my mask still on, it's a bit fumey in here at the moment, but we've gone in here with the first layer now. Everything looks fairly good, nice and glossy black. Kind of shows up everything, which is kind of good when you want to kind of see where any kind of defects are. Okay, I flipped it upside down to stop any dust settling on it in there, and as you can just guess now, a little time has passed since I sprayed it. It looks class. I might be coming back in here with one more layer, because once again, when you flip things over, you start seeing areas that you missed. Okay folks, so one of the steps I really wanted to make sure in here was that everything is well sealed up, and plenty of paint, seam sealer. But part of that process meant that I wasn't able to successfully weld this into position without welding at one side of the plate, which will cause the paint to blister away and then create a rust spot, because this is, at the end of the day, an eave chute for a car. It's basically gathering all the water that comes down and into this area. So the step I took was cleaned up this fella, I put on some rust inhibitor, and I have it all trimmed off to the angle for it to sit down in there properly. And I'm going to use some nice sealant in here, slap that down onto it, and then I'm going to use a cable tie tied over this to hold it in place while it sets. That basically means I can go and weld up all this from about here, and then on a later day. Just snip it in there and release that. So it'll keep it all nice. Alright, that is now sealing in and out. So it'll be good air induction through that into the car. And I have a cable tie tied here just to keep it pressed down, because if I rotate the rotisserie over the next couple of hours, I don't want it falling off and not knowing that happened. There's loads of sealer on this, so it's good to go. What we'll do now is we'll see about making the plate for here next. And now that that's secured, I can pop in my plate right here. So it's just a matter of locking it in place and tacking it in and doing a nice little job, grinding it back when it's done. Clamped into place now. Obviously we've a weld-through primer all on the back of this where we can't access it, and we've left a tiny little gap all the way around. So now I just need to tease the two surfaces together as I go along and get it welded up. After a quick grind back, you can see all the little high and low spots there, so I might just out of my own sanity just kind of do a tiny little fill in that, just to kind of make it look nice and neat. It's not actually going to be visible, but once again, these are the kind of things that would keep you awake at night, knowing that there was a bit of crap somewhere hidden in the car. So yeah, I might just put on a bit of small filler in this and then sand this all off, and then we can paint it. Looks quite well. Hey folks, that's all for today. Did quite well. Nice bit of paint on the underside and on the inside here. Lots more to go, I'm sure. Look, I didn't get to give you the colour of the car that I've chosen yet. It's a risky one. There was just a little bit too much content with this bit here and separately with the wings, so I'm going to try and bring that to you in the next episode, all going well. Guys, as always, any likes or subscribe to control my way, I'd really appreciate that. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.